Gardening for me is very good because when I put my hands in the ground, it permits me to relax and all my stress is away. I think it's a really entertaining and relaxing activity. I avoid using synthetic pesticides or chemicals. I also use companion plants in order to avoid the presence of pests. The most important thing is to use resistant strains, old varieties of vegetables that can grow without pesticides and that resist pest diseases. I think it's also good for biodiversity because by producing gardening without pesticides or synthetic fertilizers, it increases the biodiversity, and it's also good for climate change, which is also an important factor for me. I avoid transport from retailers or from growers that live away from my home. I also avoid using toxic chemicals or pesticides, synthetic fertilizers that also need a lot of energy and thus produce a lot of carbon dioxide to be produced. In fact, by growing my own vegetables, it permits me to avoid using harmful chemicals. I can eat healthy food, and it permits to limit the damages on the environment or on health. I avoid eating food with endocrine disrupting chemicals, for instance, that can induce cancers or other diseases, and thus I protect my children like that. By producing my own local and seasonal food, it's also good to fight climate change because in conventional agriculture there is almost no organic matter in the soils because of the techniques they use, and all the organic matter, the carbon dioxide, is present in the air. And by using compost, for instance, compost is very rich in carbon, and I put this carbon matter in the ground, and it permits to store the carbon in the ground instead of having it in the air, where it contributes to climate change.